Okay, now I'm going to share. So Andrea, it is all you.
Okay. It's interesting that the camera is doing what it's doing. Anyway, so calling the meeting to order, the Sand Flats Recreation Area Stewardship Committee meeting for Thursday, July 11th. Members present are Molly Taylor, Mark Pope, Mike Kelso, and Evan Clapper from the County Commission, myself from Sand Flats, and then remotely Tom Dillon, who is also on the Stewardship Committee, and Matt Olding from Sand Flats.
And Katie.
And Katie Stevens, thank you. Oh gosh. Okay, it's County Bears today, all right. So first order of business is I need to make a motion to change the order of the meeting agenda because Maddie Logowitz will be presenting at 4:15 today. So we are going to have her presentation then, and we will have the action item after that if the committee wants to vote on the Falcon climb trail. Okay, so first order of business is approval of the minutes from the last meeting. Did anyone have any edits for that? Or anything missing?
I motion to approve the meetings from March 14th.
Second. Sorry. The man with the mustache.
Okay.
Get that in the minutes.
He's got one too. Wait, everyone have the mustache. I probably forgot to shave.
Okay. Okay.
Really keep that.
All right. So everyone's happy with the minutes. So then the next item.
I don't know if you called for a vote, but.
Oh, okay. Gosh, it's been a half an hour of technical difficulties. Okay, so Molly Taylor made a motion, Evan Clapper seconded it, and do we have all vote in favor?
And I'll abstain since I went over when this voting took
Okay,
place.
okay. Mark Pope abstaining, all rest vote in favor. Tom, did you vote in favor? Okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Okay, so, my phone,
Is that a vote?
and so, the Sand Flats remits.
Remits.
All right. So, on this, if you look at the little orange box that I have there, we are up 11. So to date in revenue, we are up 11%
From last year.
from last year, but in visitation, we are actually down 11.5%. So you remember we changed the fee schedule. And I don't think it's chased anybody away, but we're down, Moab is down.
Now, how's that number compare to 2019 of visitation? You might not have gotten
Oh,
just because.
I can
Yeah.
look that up, but.
Well, no, I just meant comparatively, because sometimes we're flipping backwards to 2019
Yeah,
anyway, but I was.
well, you can look at the, you can look at the revenue rate for 2019,
Every month is higher.
but you can't look at it
That's what I was
further.
saying, the difference.
Yeah.
in
Well, let's see
remits.
if I have it here. I have 2022 was 8% compared to 2019 was up.
Well, 2022 was the big year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or yeah, so that's.
Well, 2020, no, it was down 13% compared to 2021.
Okay, so you have visitation for 2022? No, just remits.
Not here for you. I do
Yeah.
have it on my computer.
No big deal. I just think because the revenue went up, and so see, you're saying remits are up 11%, but visitation is down. Maybe just if you're happy between 4% and 8% increase in revenue, that means a lot of stabilization. Because the 11% is just more because the revenue went up. But as long as you stay like 4 and 8%, you're seeing growth.
Yeah.
The pattern is the same for this
Yeah.
year compared to other years. My one observation is that we're halfway through the year and the revenues were at 48%. And we get about 60% of our revenue in the first half of the year, 40% in the second half. So what I would expect is if the trends continue, we'll come in around maybe 90% of our budget.
Yeah, we'll see.
Since
Yeah,
we're a little bit short now, we'll continue that through the rest of the year.
I would think that we're going to mimic 2022 or something. Or even if we mimic last year, that's great.
Well, we're up 11% right now compared to 2023 through June.
Yeah,
So,
we'll see.
yeah, we'll see how the fall is.
But the trend just lays right on top of the previous 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a little bit below the biggest one, which was 2021.
Right. So just wise to keep the budget down in that growth of 4 to 8, or just because we don't know what's gonna happen?
Well, and the budget looks, okay, so if we go to the budget sheet, if you go to the first page, Matt, you can change it to the balance sheet. So the cash and combined cash fund, which is essentially our bank account, really, that is what was expected to be. And so we have over 600,000 sitting there in the balance, fund balance. And then on the next page, we've got the fees, which is what Mark was just talking about. And these are, so I put them, so, okay, so this is showing, I'm gonna have to go get my glasses. 406, let me get my glasses. Excuse me. I need them for the numbers. Yay.
Build actual budget, 890. I'm just saying I'm a fiscal conservative and it's good to keep the budgets in that average. If you look on the back of the remit page, it'll just show you an average from 2019 to 2023, you're at 690,000, we keep up in the budget.
So what I would expect would you would be about 60% of your fees for the year at this point. And-
Well-
You said it was 40.
Well, right now we're at half the year, we're at 48, but if you get 60% of your revenue through June and
Okay.
40% in the last half of the year.
I don't think we get 60% through.
I don't either.
No, we're getting a lot more in the fall now than we used to. Because right now, when I compare through June for both years, we're 11% over last year.
Right.
So,
But if you sum the input for the first half of the year and divide by the total, I did it for 2021, it's about 60-40
okay,
for first half, second half. So I think Molly's point is good. We just need to be fiscally responsible.
yeah, we
Since
always are.
we'll probably be coming in a little under budget.
Yeah, well, and we're not gonna spend, I mean, I budgeted,
And
we budgeted, 300,000 for capital improvements and none of that's gonna happen. So we have 380,000 that we're probably gonna use 20,000 of it or something, so.
Another day.
Yeah, so we're fine. But also on this, so on here, when you're looking at this total, I mean, this is the total. But on this one, when you look at Sandflat's fees on the second page, the top row, you've got 430,595, and then they separate out the Sandflat's fees online. Remember we talked about, we wanted them to change this, but clerk's office hasn't changed it yet, because this is really just rec.gov. This is really just those 6 group sites.
The 32,000 or the 4,000?
No, the 32,000 is the 6 group sites. The
Okay.
Sandflat's fees, that does include online payments through Square when people use their phones, either on the website or at the booth with the QR code, and it includes all the money we take in at the booth. So there is online sales with that Sandflat's fees. So I wish this just said Sandflat's fees rec.gov, because it makes it a little confusing. But anyway, so
and that's closer to 60.
yeah, right, because it's 54. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. And, so anyway, and then it just shows a small expense reimbursement, and that's, some books from Back and Beyond that were sold. And then as far as the, expenditures with comparison to budget page, the only things I was gonna pull out was, the contract professional services. You might remember that one was over budget because we put in money for the raise grant for the engineers to help with the grant this year again. So the road department and Sam Flats split that amount. And then also we're paying for 2 videos to be on television in the hotels and in Moab and Green River as well. So with Emory Telecom. So we're gonna have to move some money out of probably capital improvements and put them over into that because we're spending $400 a month for the those 2 videos. And then the other thing was Slick Rock Trail jumping fees. We should be fine. It's at 53%, and we're not as, you know, we have the summer and then the winter included in that. So
Which videos are those that are getting?
those are the ephemeral pools
Oh, yeah.
and the introduction to Sam Flats video, the new one. And then there's 6 more that Maddie's department is paying for.
Okay.
So there's 8 total. And they were all
Yeah.
went through the commission for approval. We paid for, I'm mixing up my years. It seems like we paid for some in the beginning as well before Maddie knew she
Yeah.
had money to do it. So that's also why this is up a little bit. And then the other one is the inventory, and some of that is this. And although this was only about $800 for this setup. And then we bought the camera. We have a camera on the booth that's a really high-tech camera that the sheriff's department wanted it tried out on the booth. So we did that, and then we bought it. And they're buying their own. But so that is on the booth. So that was part of the inventory. I actually split it between inventory, office equipment, and regular inventory. And then, no, I split it between inventory, tools, and inventory. I don't know why I have 3 of these things, but anyway, you can't, once you get them, you can't get rid of them, so. And then inventory, office equipment was this. Well, usually it makes sense. Usually it's like office equipment or tools, but then I have this general inventory still. So that's just where it makes it a little confusing. But, and then staff training. This, I coded this wrong when I went up to the Mountain Trails Conference. I haven't been to a conference in a while. And I should have put the travel, the hotel and the per diem and the gas in travel. You can see travel has nothing taken out of it.
Yeah.
So that will, I just talked to the clerk's office today and that'll get switched out.
Yeah.
So that'll put about $600 coming out of travel and going into travel as an expense and coming out of the training. And the reason the training is also over is because we did the $900 for John Marshall through Barlow Adventures to train 6 of us on the staff.
Oh, cool.
And that was a great day out there.
Yeah.
And even my staff that has been driving UTVs for, you know, I mean, Brendan McGann's been a guide for, he was 5+ years as a guide before he came to work at Sam Flats, and he felt like he got a lot out of it. So it
Well, for years, the staff training's been pretty zero,
Yeah.
a little, so.
Well, I get
It's good to see a little bit
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah, and a lot of the trainings I would get would be free
Yeah.
before from the BLM or Park Service or such, but yeah, so we used using our training budget, yeah, which is great. Okay, well, any questions about anything on there? I keep my glasses back on. I'm having trouble with the numbers today. Yeah, I think those were the only 4 there that were over, and everything else is pretty much, I mean, some of these things like subscriptions and membership were at 84%, but we're done. that was for a software membership we have to have for Jason to make the signs and Nurse to do the brochures. So,
I'll just mention real briefly, you talked about the videos earlier, they were incredibly effective. It's been a long time since I was a tourist, but they had a radio that was running in the motels that showed the restaurants and the sites and stuff like that. It's a great way to reach people that are here for the first time to communicate your standards and what you want. So glad to hear that you're doing that.
oh, well, thank you. I think so too. I watch the TV a little bit when I stay in a hotel room. If there's a local channel, like when we went to Hawaii, we got a lot of good information off of theirs. Yeah. So, and resource information as well for protecting the resources.
Especially if it's when you turn the TV on a motel room, that's what just comes up before you start searching for, and it just runs in a loop.
Yep.
Yeah, it's very effective.
Yeah, so we have 8 videos on there and they're all very educational and fun to watch. They're beautiful scenery. Okay. All right. So, Matt, I think we'll go to our PowerPoint now.
Okay.
Everything else is on the PowerPoint. Okay, so that slide I should have moved, but I did not. So you can keep scrolling down. I'll just point out again, we're supposed to bring in about 175,000 extra with the fee change this year. So based on 2019, that was what was in the business plan as our projection. So, okay, so you can. Oh, so Hell's Revenge was awarded the National Recreation Trail.
Yep, got it.
And status or whatever. So that's good news. Now, I don't know, yeah, you can click, it's working. So that's the picture that they took. I need to talk to Bill Stevens because there's a few mistakes on this description. It says that it's good for hiking and walking, and I would say no. So I would like to see if we can get that removed. Katie?
I'll ask him. I think, we believe this is the first motorized trail to be awarded this status. And, it's a park service and we love the park service, but it's a park service program. So I'm guessing that he was kind of like trying to emphasize the multimodal aspect of it because, he was trying to make a pitch for it. So, but we do think it's the first motorized trail to be awarded National Recreation Trail status. So that's a big deal.
In the whole country?
Yes, in the whole country. It's certainly true in Utah, but we think the whole country.
So campaign.
And it is just kind of like an Academy Award in a way, it's the Oscar of trails. And so we have 6 of them in our office. We have Fisher Towers, Corona Arch, Slick Rock. We were looking at the plaques yesterday, Andrew, the other ones. Oh, the Barham system.
Corona, right?
Corona. I think that's it. And then now Hell's Revenge. So, I think we have a good smattering of our high profile Academy Award worthy trails.
Yeah, she was showing me all the plaques a few days ago.
And we'll be getting a plaque for Hell's Revenge too. We haven't gotten our plaque yet, but we do have the little tags to put up on the bulletin board that it is a National Recreation Trail.
Yep. So congratulations. All right. Matt, you can go to the next slide on the PowerPoint, please. Okay, so what do I have next on there? Katie, I don't know if Jennifer communicated with you about this, but the next 2 things were questions for her, and she said she was looking into it, but when I conversed with her yesterday or the day before, she hadn't heard back yet. Did she mention this to you? Oh, you're muted.
So I am. Sorry. You think I know how to work this button by now, but she
Don't
did.
apologize. We had nothing but technical difficulties for half an hour. Okay.
Yeah. So, oh, I think she put it in the, we have this chat feature, but I think the University of Wyoming is supposed to be doing the what do you call
Compilation?
that? Yeah, and so she was going to check with the University of Wyoming. So here's the chat. I asked the contract lead with the NOC, which is the National Operations Center, Michelle Puckett, and she is awaiting a response from the University of Wyoming. And she also sent an email to the two people that are handling the assistance agreement, but she has not yet heard back, and that was at 9:40 this morning. So she's got inquiries out about both of your questions, but unfortunately, we work for a bureaucracy and do not have an answer back yet.
Okay, so that was the next slide. Thank you, Katie. That was the next slide, that where we were trying to find out what was happening with the assistance.
It's still, it's in the pipeline, you know, it's in the queue, and hopefully the assistance agreement is on its way to getting finalized.
Okay, and then this also goes right into the letter that I sent to you folks from Dave Cowles at the BLM about the nighttime trail closure. And so, Katie, do you want to speak to that, or do you want me to just read that part of the letter?
Well, you can just read it, but I think the bottom line is there really, if since we settled on 10 to 6, there aren't that many people. I mean, there really aren't. So, but go ahead and read his reasoning.
Oh, it's just at the end. Well, I guess there's good data here. Did everyone read through it?
I've all read it,
Yeah, maybe just so that it's on the Zoom. Data from the Hell's Revenge trail exit counter from May 20th to December 15th, 2023 shows a total of 43,805 vehicles exiting the trail during this time. A total of 475 of these vehicles exited between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. with an average of 2.3 vehicles per day and a maximum of 12 vehicles on one day. The BLM does not feel the available data supports the stated purpose and need of the proposed closure and will not be conducting further analysis. If further data becomes available, the BLM will reconsider the proposal. So the data that the BLM was looking at was Hell's Revenge from last year. And I wasn't sure what was happening with this. So just last week, I sent in the latest data for this year from January 1st to the end of June. And so anyway, so I didn't know where we were. I got the letter like the day after I sent you folks that data. And we also sent you Fins and Things data. So no Fins and Things data was part of this decision-making.
Right, but you know, that's like less than 1% of the use is nighttime use. If we're gonna define nighttime as 10 to 6. I know I stored the old data, the new data you sent me, Andrea, but I didn't analyze it yet. Was there much of a change? Or do you know?
I didn't really analyze it. I mean, I analyzed some of Hell's Revenge. I started looking at it, and then I'm like, oh, I'm looking at 2023. So then I started looking at this year, but I actually did not look at the fins yet. So, because I had Jason give it to me right before he left for vacation.
Well, Andrea, how do you feel about this letter? I kind of felt like, great, problem solved. The owner does not feel available data supports the state.
Yeah, I mean, I've looked through the data from 2023.
Yeah.
And I went through all that, and looking at that data,
Yeah.
I'm of the same opinion that the BLM is that it was. I guess maybe it was more of a problem. You know, our visitation was really up in 2021 and 2022. But now that things have more leveled off, seems like it's less of an issue. I mean, I looked through there and I found like one group at 1 a.m. You know, it's like
behavior seems to have changed a little bit.
Yeah, right. And you will see a massive amount, some, 130 vehicles or something coming off right, between 8 and 9 from the sunset.
Yeah.
But then it just quiets right down.
Yeah,
So are we gonna continue to collect data and
May as well.
review?
Yeah.
It's interesting, I was on the motorized trail committee, actually, you were at the meeting, and I wasn't as diplomatic as I should have been when we were discussing the letter, July letter. And obviously, there's a perception that there's a problem. My comment at the motorized trail committee is, what does the data show?
Yeah.
There was no data. All I heard was, well, people are complaining. Well, people are going to complain. So you have to offset the complaints against what does the data show. So I
Right.
applaud the use of data,
yeah.
but like you said, there's new data.
Right.
So it's probably one of those things where it would be advantageous for us to continue to collect and continue to evaluate, because there will continue to be complaints.
Right.
And the best response to a complaint is, we've been studying this and we're only seeing 2 vehicles per day. So it's unfortunate that you have been affected, but the majority of people are not affected. So I would definitely encourage us to continue
Oh, yeah.
to collect.
We will. We have the counters. We purchased the counters, so we will.
And it sounds like the counters might be in the wrong spot if you're counting the end of Hell's Revenge. I think most of the sunset tours exit back out through one of the cutoffs.
Mhm.
And I think that,
Point.
to your point, that if there's 130
count-
vehicles down the hill.
I think the
that's
counter's at the exit,
No,
isn't it?
the counter is at the exit at Hell's Revenge, right by the booth. The
right,
exit.
but
Yeah.
most of the sunset tours do the cutoff, right? And
No, they come off.
They
that
have to
exit.
come off. That's the only place they can come out. They don't go down below by
by
Alliance.
lines back, oh,
No,
I thought
no.
that was the exit.
No, they come out there.
No, they'd still
Pardon?
be up there.
Yeah, our volume is low, Katie.
Pardon?
We couldn't hear you. Our volume is low and
Oh, I just said if they were using the Sitla exit, they'd still be up there. It's so slow. So no, I
Yeah.
think they do come out
No.
from on the new, let's call it the new exit, the blasted exit.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, but Evan's right. We want to be measuring the right things.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think we are. The thing was, we have been measuring the Hell's Revenge exit for a few years, but we didn't until last year when we got the new counter that actually recorded the time. We were just doing
Right.
volume before.
because the key is that 10 o'clock, you're gonna get the traffic from the sunset tour, and
Which is
that's
fine.
allowed. That's all, I
Mhm.
mean, that's gonna be what
Yep,
is using the trail.
exactly.
So it's the later night ones.
Which wasn't a problem really in 2023 or this year either. Because I did look up to June of Hell's Revenge. I just didn't get to fins and things, and I'm sorry, I should have. But I think when I read the letter, I was kind of like, oh. But we bought the counters, so they will be out there, and we'll keep doing this. Because we want it not just for this issue, we just want to know, as much data as we can gather about how the trail is being used.
More information.
Yeah. So I'm glad we put the fins one up. And the fins one is at the exit. So if people are only doing part of fins and don't actually come out the exit, like if they just do the south part, we don't have a counter there. So I mean, maybe we should have a counter at the beginning and a counter at the end, and then we could subtract and say, well, this many didn't actually come out.
But then you have a booth counter, right? So
We
you
have a
can
booth
take
counter
that-
too.
And just to see campground, people
Yeah.
running down for dinner and coming back. But more or less what traffic is coming in after 10. Because I would assume a lot of traffic is before 10.
Well, and then what we had done this year as well for the BLM, they had asked, but they ended up, well, they had asked us to keep track of how many vehicles are turning into Hell's Revenge and how many are going straight. But we actually did not bring them that information yet because we were going to compile it with this that I gave them and I didn't have it yet. So anyway, that is being gathered as well from our new camera system.
And maybe it's like somebody said, 2021 was to the gills, right? Everything was to the gills. And I agree with whoever said you're always going to have complaints. Believe you me, I've heard them. But maybe the problem has not disappeared, but maybe it has diminished. Just because the visitation's gone from full scream to low roar, you know what I mean? So I think, obviously the BLM is willing to reconsider if things went through the roof, but it's just like, would we want to really do this for less than 1% of the vehicle traffic,
No.
So.
I was pleased to see the letter.
Yeah, it gives some closure for now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and we can keep an eye on it. And we still have, of course, the trail that is closest to campers is the south side of Finn's. And that is, I mean, that remains closed at whatever the closure hours are night. I think it's sunset, isn't it?
It's a half hour before sunset to a half hour after sunrise.
Right. So that's even more, that's way below, before 10 PM.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Okay, all right, what's the next one on there, Matt? Okay, I don't know if people know yet, we did not get the raise grant.
Oh, no.
That was the paving.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't get it. So, let me read, well, there's not really. Let it go on me. Essentially, they're gonna give us a debrief, those of us that did not receive it. We'll get a debrief in August, so I will let you know what I find out.
Well, it is just
Here it
all
is.
recreation.
But it was interesting, I haven't like dived into it deeply, but I could see the two that were awarded in Utah. And one was in Green River, a study, both were studies. One was a study to look at utilities being put in on like I think a 5-mile road stretch, like a lot of utilities, and paving. And then the other one surprised me, I didn't really know about it. I should have looked at my numbers again. But it was like, you can look these up. If you go to Raise Grant and say what was awarded, it'll show you the whole map of the country, and you can just click on Utah and you can click on the actual project and read about it. And they're gonna study like 160 miles of trail, like for potentially putting in a bike trail, a paved bike trail from White Mesa on the Ute Reservation,
Oh.
like down to Bluff, and then a little bit west and a little bit, and quite a bit east. But that didn't even add up to 160 miles to me, so. And then they said they're actually gonna pick, I think, 30 to 50 miles of that and do the design and layout, design for it. But nothing will actually happen. And they're gonna do like outreach to communities to see the interest and all this. They got $9.5 million to do that.
Amazing, just to study it.
Yeah, just to study.
So would we repeat this process again?
Yeah, well, the way it is this year is you don't have to put in again. You're in it for 2 years.
2 years, okay.
But I would like to, we can talk again about it, but I kind of wonder, and I said this, but I was going along with the experts, with Elisa and with Dan Stenta, with them saying, and Bill Jackson saying, well, bike paths, separated paths, look, they got $9.5 million to study it. I said, they're big now, so we want to do this. The survey's showing that people want a separated path and all that. So this is a good thing. We'll put it in there. And and with expenses and that decision, it bumped it from a $12 million project the year before to $20 million this time.
Wow.
So what I'm wondering about is going back to, we just want a paved road with bike lanes, and then getting funding from other sources to build a separated single track. But there are other sources, there's the RTP grant, to do that, and then get the bikes off the road that want to be mountain biking, but then the people that want to get to their mountain bike trail quickly and use a bike lane they can, or come off of it, or people want a road bike. So I kind of think we should see if we can modify what we did and just bring it back to what it was before, and maybe it'll make us more competitive.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just thinking that the last few days after us not getting it.
And this application was up to the tanks or to the Forest Service boundary?
It was in the tanks. It was just a porcupine.
And would it trim much expense to just go to the Pinion Trail or?
Oh, I'd love it to I've been trying since 2015 to get it paved to the Pinion Trail.
Yeah.
So if we could just get it paved to the Pinion Trail, I would be thrilled.
Yeah, you never know what triggers the approval. Like if it has a bike, does it count more than if it doesn't have a bike in the title?
Yeah.
But also the fact that we're putting in the Falcon climb, maybe, kind of takes away the need as much for the separate bike path.
Yeah.
If we already have a single track that runs parallel.
Except that's just one trail.
Yeah.
Right, it wouldn't be the same as a 6 to 8 foot wide
Yeah.
separated
And
path.
then, as you just mentioned, you can have a non-separated bike path that meets that need as well.
You can have a bike lane.
You've done the feedback in years past? When they,
Well, yeah, we did it last year.
is it much of a Q&A or are they just like, here's your scorecard? This is-
No, they spent a long time talking to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked to them for probably an hour, the gentleman in Washington DC.
Yeah.
And we did it, we've done it, we did it once with him. And then we did talk to him again this spring when we were putting in the application. We talked to him again. But, what was I gonna say about that?
And is that how they do it, just 2 per state or? do
Yeah,
they-
2 per state.
Yeah, so it's fairly competitive.
Yeah, so and I don't know how many applicants there were in Utah. I know last year they were looking at 9 and they got down to the top 4, but I don't know if there was more than 9. Like, maybe there was 20 and they got to 9, or there was 50. Anyway, we were in the top 4 and they picked 2 of those 4 last time. And when we did the debriefing, we had 7 out of 8 highly recommended. And I thought you had to have 8 out of 8, but you didn't. You actually just had to have 6 out of 8 to actually get get the award of the grant. So I worked really hard to bring that other one up, which was ironically partnership and collaboration, kind of, that I didn't write that part last time. And anyway, so we added like everything in there. I mean, it was like a 3-page portion of it, probably one of the longest parts of it. So it'll be interesting in August, do the debrief to see what happened.
So just listening check, we apply, it's good for 2 years.
This time,
So as far as commissional approval, the approval we got from the commission was to submit.
Right,
So
so
it just effectively stays in there and
if we don't change it, I would think it would, right?
I mean,
I don't know.
I guess that's the question is, do we need to like resubmit or it's like a double funding cycle or
I
something?
would think if we make changes,
They said if, what was new this year was, if you didn't get it this year, they would just keep it
Yeah.
for next year and you wouldn't have to reapply. But if we change it, I'm sure we have to.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like you just have to increase some partnership and collaboration.
That was the one
Next year.
before. This
Oh.
isn't this year's. I don't have it yet.
And then-
Sorry to confuse you. I just
Oh, no,
put it
that's
as
all
a.
right.
And then the commission would have to buy into the changes as well.
Okay.
But it'll be some new people next year, good or bad, so, So anyway, that's the way it goes. But we'll
I
see.
didn't realize it was the top 4 before.
Yeah, we were in the top 4 last time. So I mean, it was
Probably
really.
be in the top 2 next year. I'm confident.
Maybe the top 2 to get it.
Working our way up.
We might have been in the top 4 this year, right? We don't know yet. They picked 2 out of 4 again. Maybe we were in the same rating.
I'm frustrated by these large budgets for studies.
Yeah.
But ours wasn't a study. Ours was
No, I
building.
know.
Right.
I'm just
goes to
saying
lawyers.
overall, but yeah, the city and county
$9.5
projects.
million to study.
Yeah, to study.
I wonder if if it would be more appealing if there was some connectivity to town.
Oh, I'd be.
I'm just thinking about that Bluff project, and I wonder
Yeah.
if there was some kind of,
Well, we've wanted it for a long time to have, I mean, when Lionsback was going in, the committee, the group, we wrote letters and said, we would like there to be a path along the road coming up. And at that time, they're like, oh, yes, but
is that still Sitley land or do they outright sell it? Or is it just like a million-year lease?
it's still Sitley, right? Yeah.
The development, yeah.
I'm a little
they did make a
confused.
path if you go out the old way, and they called me up and I went up and they showed it to me and we walked it, looked at it, and they moved it up a little farther.
That one that you see from the road, that one right there?
And it's really up on the backside.
Oh, that other one, the utility corridor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, Tyson didn't like that. He says the people aren't gonna use it. It's too steep. That's what he thought.
Well, that whole trail's too steep.
Yeah. Yeah, but Tyson didn't think it was so great.
But, that's what they think is all they need to do.
Yeah.
And that's getting any bikers or any vehicles or anything, you know, on the backside and away from the homes.
Oh, so you can still drive through there to come home?
Yeah.
Okay,
But basically, it's a one-way,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big thing to, connectivity to town.
Yeah.
It'd be better if it was a bike lane on the road, I think.
First time I heard the Falcon climb, I assumed that's what it was gonna be. It was a way to get up to Sand Flats from town on a bicycle. Because I think it's needed.
Yeah, well, we need it for a long time to come up from town safely.
Yeah.
No one gets hit. It's pretty safe. Most people don't. I mean, there's never been a bicyclist hit.
I don't know about never,
There's not much shoulder on that road.
but I don't know about never,
Yeah,
because lots of times we don't get all the data.
yeah. Anyway,
Anyway, so you can keep going, Matt. Well, we can come down to that if there's more. Okay, you can just, this was just the highlights from the grant. We don't need it. That's still from the grant. I don't know, I kept it in there.
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay, nice little breather here. We can watch the fairy shrimp video. What time
Fairly,
is it?
fairly
Wait, let me for a minute, you're, that one that has both. Does that have both?
No.
Oh, gosh, where'd it go?
what do you need, the shuttle letter or?
No, thank you, Evan.
What else is coming?
What else is coming? Because she's gonna come in here in 25 minutes. So maybe I should not bother with the video right now. Okay, let's keep going to new topics and we'll see if we can fit in the video later. So,
Hawk Campground.
yeah, okay, go back, Matt, please, to the PowerPoint. And we'll just,
There.
yeah, right there. If you can zoom in a little bit.
Might be on our side. See that?
Oh, it might be
view
me,
options?
might be me. I'm afraid to do anything on this thing.
See if you can hit this. Oh, never mind.
Just leave it.
I thought it was gonna, or maybe this.
Full screen. Wow.
Yay! Wow, thank you, everyone.
You didn't get the touch screen with the picture? I keep.
Handprints all over the place. Okay. So if you may recall, this was what we thought we were gonna do this year, but then we were just kind of in a holding pattern. We decided to just wait and get through the spring. So now, Matt, if you go to the next, okay, wait, I'll describe it though. Don't go yet, sorry. Okay, so this idea was at the top of the Hawk Campground, there was a campsite, which on this Google Earth is still shown as there. But you may remember I had Lee Palfreyman from the BLM. He removed that campsite. He pulled up the earth there, whatever, put in ditches and stuff. And I had it seeded. And so it's no longer like that. It's closed. And we had the idea, Matt, I don't know what you're on, but I wanted the other one where we just were. Sorry, yeah. So we had the idea of just putting parking up there and for Kestrel. But we didn't do it. And so now you can go to the next slide and go to the link, which I hope it is gonna, I tested it, so it should be fine. Oh no, now what? What happened?
There it is.
No,
People are just parking on the road.
no, but this
right?
isn't what I want,
Oh,
because I made a drawing.
oh.
Not
I
that.
think he might be logging in and hiding his
Yeah,
password
I'm
from
trying to go to the link.
YouTube.
Sorry, I've been on mute. Yeah, Andrea, you posted it on your Google Drive and I can't get at it. I don't have access. I'm trying right now.
Okay, that's all right, it's all right. Go back to the picture you had. Go back to the picture you had. I'll just describe it.
Okay.
Sorry.
There you go.
Okay, so this is the way it looks now, pretty much, except the top campsite is closed. All right, so the idea is the toilet there,
Can
Matt.
you use your cursor? Is it,
Hello?
whose cursor are we seeing?
Oh, do have a cursor. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I can use it. Okay, the toilet. You might remember how Falcon Flow toilet looks right now
Yeah.
with the metal surround. So we would do that
Oh,
here,
that's
is
so
the
awesome.
idea.
It's wonderful.
We would put a shade structure here. Or here, but I think it's this one we want to put it
Yeah.
somewhere in here. And we would turn this into, the idea we've been talking about for a long time is closing Campground H, Hawk Campground. We only have 6 sites there now. We closed 4 2 years ago. And so we would make all of this area, oh, my mouse is dragging. Make all of this area parking. Okay. In September when we meet, I'm taking a really good lesson in how to use everything on this new system.
training.
Okay?
It's just adorable.
All I need is Anna. I just need Anna Sprout. That's all I need. She'll help me. So the idea is to have all of this be parking, have a shade structure here. So it's a picnicking area. It's a parking area for Kestrel. It's a picnicking area for everyone, people that are on fins and things, they want to stop and have a snack or whatever, a nicer toilet for them. And that's the plan.
Well, I don't understand. I see Jeeps pulled over all the time on the side of the road, like.
When they come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they
And
come
I'm just
out.
like,
They're probably
Yeah.
debating which way to go.
yeah, and it's just
I'll
like
give
if
you-
they could pull over just somewhere.
I'll give you feedback you probably already know. I don't think I've ever done fins and things with more than one person that we don't make a stop at that
Yes.
pit toilet.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
a great break. This is fantastic.
Okay, well,
But you
great.
lose some revenue from the.
Well, yes, so I met on site with Lee Palfreyman from the BLM, and he was giving me some ideas of quotes, because he just built the toilet for us. We know the shade structure, how much fill we would
Yeah.
need. And he's like, I think if the BLM gets to do it for you, I think you're only gonna be looking at about $20,000 to $25,000.
But you were talking about lost revenue from loss of the safety.
Okay, yep, so I talked to Lee as well, and I said, I have wondered ever since we built Campground D, if we could just put a few more sites in there.
There you go.
And a few more, maybe 1 or 2 sites in B,
Yeah.
and maybe, if we could replace 6, that would be awesome, but maybe 3 to 4, 2 to
Yeah.
4 in D.
Yeah.
Then we would not lose that revenue. I think
Right.
there's some room.
What are the occupancy on the group sites? They're pretty popular, aren't they?
Yeah, they're pretty popular.
I mean, if we're building new ones, I wonder if it would be worth considering more group or more reservable sites. It's gonna,
I
I think I
yes
see
and no.
folks
We
getting
have a lot of, yeah. We always have problems with our group sites. I mean, we just get like these problem people. I don't know what it is.
So
They just
Andrea,
are big groups and they don't understand about staying within the boundaries and they just put their tents everywhere or we've had a lot of
Yeah.
issues. And they've got too much stuff and I don't know. But
so Andrea,
I would like this to be a picnic, a day.
Oh, yeah. No, I
Oh,
just,
you don't
if
need
you
either.
were, no, I meant if we were adding stuff to D.
Oh, think about more group sites.
Yeah.
Katie, were you, or Matt, were you,
yeah, so for the Campground H, then we're definitely gonna close these first 2 that are a little remote.
well, Matt, we've been talking about this for Katie, 15 years? We've
Yeah.
At
been
least.
talking about at least closing H because you have a 4-wheel drive trail through a campground. And you haven't had any major accidents, and some people think it's cool, but really, safety-wise, it's not such a great idea.
I've always thought it'd be nice to have more like day use areas, like with tables and picnics kind of stuff. And I think that keeping day and overnight use separate makes sense for like enforcement, being able to roll through and say, hey, you're in a day use area,
Mhm.
move on. And so I think this is a good idea as well.
I do too, but I think that if we can replace because when you're packed, you're packed. And if we can find room associated with the other campgrounds so that we're not building something brand new or adding toilets or anything like
Yeah.
that. But if we
Yeah.
can put 6 sites in some of the other campgrounds, then it will be a revenue neutral action.
That's my goal, Katie. And when I talked to Lee, he thought it was reasonable because we actually have more toilets than we can fit. You know, you want to have like 10 to 12 sites per toilet. We
Right.
have enough room in D to add more. We have enough room in B to add more for our toilet capacity.
Uh-huh.
So we're fine there. We thought we were going to have more in D when we built it, but then there was potential drainage problems. But then Lee said he would look at that again, and but others at the BLM will look at it again and see if we can fit a few more in there. I was up there during, after our storms, and places I was looking at, they weren't flooded. So
Kind of an unrelated, semi-related question. That pit toilet style is much older. Is there an effort or plan in place to upgrade all of them?
You mean the wood to the metal?
Yeah, we could start going. That we were actually, I was talking about that with Joe from maintenance at Sam Flats, and we were saying, we should just do a few every year or something and switch them out to the metal. I'd rather have I don't know. So, okay. There's pros and cons to having a concrete building and having an open one, and when we had like the hantavirus scare and we had COVID, it sure was nice to have these open ones. You didn't have to worry. And they seem to stay cleaner with the sunlight and everything, and
Blows it all out.
blows it out. And including the toilet paper. Whereas and I mean, cost-wise, we got that one at Falcon Flow. Granted, the BLM did build it for us, but it cost like $7,000 in materials. And if you get a CXT, you're looking at $30,000.
Right, they're
So,
really, the price is,
We just put a surround around it.
But there's
And
not
fill it in.
there's not a budgeted process at this point to do that. But so the only reason I asked is since we have an opportunity here, if there were some dollars that were already allocated to upgrading the toilets, that would be it.
We could allocate that like from this year's budget for next year. We'll be talking about budget, at our next meeting, and I can put that in there as something like, okay, let's try to do, 2 a year or something.
But it'd be nice to have a 2-seater because like I said, when groups come through, most of the groups I've been with actually go out to the road there. I know there's a section of fence that continues off to the right for a short distance, but almost all of them come out to the road here.
Yep.
A lot of times we go back to the north end, but even if we're gonna do the entire loop, we'll
But
take a right
given
there.
that design, sometimes there are the side-by-side 2-seaters, like a onion, or you have one, yeah.
Yeah, we could put
Like,
another.
almost the same footprint, but one person goes in that side.
I'm just telling you, it's heavily used by the groups
When they come,
when they
yeah.
come through there.
True, and that's why we
to make it single.
What, Katie?
I was gonna say, which is another reason to make it single use, if like a group comes down on fins or picnicking and the campers are there, it's really better to move the campers to the other campgrounds. And can I make one correction? It's not a pit toilet. A pit toilet, the effluent goes into the ground. It is a vault toilet.
I don't know why, I didn't put that in. It came up when Matt clicked on it.
Okay, Matt. It's a vault toilet, but never
I
put
thought
in a
you
grant
had that.
application or anything like that.
Google Earth.
Google Earth is calling it.
Yeah, I don't call them pit toilets usually. Maybe I got sucked
Okay.
into and saw it written.
No, in
in.
Arches, I realized they're
Distinction.
vault toilets.
Yeah, we
I never
always,
said, here,
Which
enjoy
means
the
they're-
vault toilet.
yeah, we always say vault toilet. Everything written down
Okay,
comes in.
okay.
vault.
Yeah.
They are pumped out, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you, Katie.
I learned something
But-
today.
Is the one at Falcon Flow the metal design with the roof or without? With the little roof?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's nice.
Yeah,
I
it does
mean-
have a.
we have them all over and they are so cost effective because like you said, they're 7,000 versus 30.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, we can put that as part of our, if, everyone agrees budget time, I'll put it in there. And I'll do the math here and see how we want to do it, or that's, well, if the BLM's building it, just depends also on what kind of time Lee has, because have to do it in the winter time. So how many, and what other projects does he have? So it might not be something, unless you get a contractor to do it, that it's going to be definitive each year.
Okay, so
Are there any pit toilets in Sand Flats, or are they all vault?
They're all vault. They're all vault. And then we do
Pit
have.
toilets are legal. I think
We-
they're illegal.
Interesting.
We do have the portable toilets though.
Yeah.
At the booth.
Okay,
Okay, so keep going, Matt. Oh, what?
There's some portable ones at the, what is that?
Oh, yes,
lot?
up there,
Are
yes.
those ours or the Forest Service?
Those are ours.
It's like right at the boundary,
Actually, they're on Forest Service.
Yeah. but
Because
you're paying for them.
we pay for them. Yeah, they're ours. Yeah. And that's something that maybe in a few years, we're gonna wanna put a vault toilet there. But, cause it's real seasonal.
Yeah.
But I left them, I don't know if she's, I gotta call her, the contractor, I don't know if I'm gonna ever pull those or not.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, they're pulling the one at the overflow and we're gonna keep the one at the booth and then, I have to talk to her about whether we're gonna pull those or not. Anyway. I mean, we'd only be pulling them for a month or two and then they'd be back, so we might just leave them, we can just clean them
For the
less.
fall, yeah.
Yeah, clean them less. Anyway, I am trying to really get our dark sky application going again. It's just been on the back burner. We've been doing the programs for them every summer, but so this will be our third year. Crystal White did them the last 2 years. She's moved to California. So I got a hold of the state parks and Megan Blackwelder and Nathan and Drew and Koye. I don't know the other woman. I'm not sure if I'm saying her name right. Koye from Dead Horse. They're all going to help with star parties at Sand Flats.
great.
And we'll do a scorpion hike in September. I haven't got that on here yet. And then I want to do something in November, maybe something around a meteor shower or something, or another, so they're going to bring telescopes and we'll have the Slick Rock parking lot, blocked off, and people should email and have people RSVP, and it's all free, of course, and you won't have to pay your fee when you come in at night.
They'll probably go real good.
Yeah, they've been well attended the last 2 years. So we did have some stormy nights that then you had to cancel, but so yeah, and that's my little scorpion picture for going up there July 3rd and trying to figure out which trail would be good for scorpions, and the Pinion Trail is very good. Yeah, and they really like the black brush. They were all in black brush except for one big one out in the sand. They're
Wow.
all like curled up, and like black brush is like their habitat, I guess. I want to talk to Koye Willis because she's going to do the scorpion one for me, and I guess she does.
So it's
the
so
Denver.
funny, you were talking about Star Party and I thought you meant the sign. So I thought you put that on there to do the sign of Scorpion.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
I know, you're actually doing a scorpion. I thought you were
Scorpion
doing a star party for the astrology.
well,
I see where I went on that.
Yeah. No, it would be astronomy
I'm back.
with telescopes
Okay.
2 nights and scorpion, and then
I got it.
maybe, more telescopes in November. I didn't want to do October because there's just too much activity around that parking lot. We will not have a good time. So, so anyway, and I will be coming to the commission and the city and everybody for letters and all that support as I get through the application. So, and then Anna was you might remember, they of course got that award, the Active Trails and Transportation got the gold award, Gold Star, Gold Standard Award. And Anna was trying to have, like, the Park Service, I think Arches has theirs now. She's trying to get it like county-wide. So she's giving me the information and she's gonna help me a little bit. I'm gonna apply for that for Sand Flats. And it shouldn't be, she said it shouldn't take like, a day or two to get everything in, because I'm pretty much taking a lot of the stuff that we've already done and just giving it to them. Like, this is our website, this is our brochure, to meet what they're looking for. So the shuttle fees,
That was pretty clear. That was well written.
That letter? Okay, you read the
So
letter?
company's got it, so
okay.
problem solved.
Yeah, and it's the same conclusion we came to when this came up about Katie, do you remember, like 10 years ago or something?
Yep, I do.
Explain.
it is.
Yeah.
My understanding was nothing changed, it was just
Nothing changed.
articulating to them.
It's just the shuttle companies have been frustrated.
Yeah,
Well, I think they're frustrated with the construction up on the forest and, that has nothing to do with sand flats. And it's not, what's a shuttle cost? Anyone know? To like LPS or something?
It depends where you go, where they drop you off.
Yeah.
Well, let's say LPS.
I think it's 25, $30.
Yeah, so the shuttle companies pay 3%. That is paid to the BLM, as the letter says, but they're not paying that their customers paying, and they're just doing a pass through. I mean, you could stop and get $2 out of every customer, right? Everyone in that van, it's just too slow.
No, that's what they are doing.
We do that, but they pay, what it is years ago, that's what we used to do. But then they wanted to speed things up,
Right.
So they hand us their card and their credit card, the shuttle company, and they tell us, I've got 5 riders, and we ring up $10 and we give them a receipt and they go, we ask them if they want maps, and then they go. And I did notice that on some of their websites, they do say Sand Flats fee included with your shuttle. So
Yeah.
They're taking it out of their fee that they're charging them. Or they should be.
Right. So it comes out the same. So
Yeah. And we didn't change it. We could have gone and said bikes are $5 for a week, whether you're getting shuttled or, we could have raised the shuttle fee to $5 like we did with the bikes. But remember, we just left it at 2.
Mhm.
So, and that was mainly for this situation. So,
and we reiterated that you don't pay the 3% on the $2. Now, if you put all your
Right.
revenue together and just give the BLM your revenue, that's what we're going to charge you. But if you take the time to separate out the sand flats fee, you will not be charged the 3% on the $2.
right,
So what they have to do is from their shuttle fee, subtract the $2.
right.
Yeah.
Because they were,
Revenue, yeah.
Collect $2 for
It's just like at Westwater, there's a
Yeah.
head, I'll call it a head tax at Westwater. So at Westwater, every passenger and every private boater pays $10. So the 3% that's charged on the overall commercial company, we don't charge on the $10. So if a Westwater trip is, I'll say 150, it's probably more than that. A lot of them will spell it out, 150 for the trip, $10 for it's called an ISRP. And then they only report the revenue on the 150 and not on 160. So it's the same principle with the shuttle companies. But I think there's some new players in the shuttle companies. I think some have been sold, and I really think the Loop Road construction's driving them nuts. So so I thought that was, well, I think Jennifer, I helped her with this, but I think Jennifer basically wrote this letter, and I think it does the job. I
good.
think it explains it very well. Does everyone agree?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought it was a great way to try to satisfy some of the frustration, mainly often pointed toward the commercial use permit. So that explained it.
I think the confusion for the shuttle companies comes from the guided exemption.
Yeah, that's right.
And some of the same folks provide both guided experiences and shuttle experiences. So depending on whether they're doing a guided trip or a shuttle, they pay or don't pay.
Right, and we asked them at the booth.
Right,
I
but a
would,
guided trip is if these people were guiding someone down Enchilada, it wouldn't be whatever price somebody told me it was,
Yeah.
right? It would be way more. So they would be
Right.
paying probably more because it'd be 3% of their total revenue, not just their shuttle revenue. But that is
Okay.
the confusion, right? You're right.
right, is the guided versus just a livery. Okay, Matt, isn't it called livery?
Yeah, it's just a
It is a
term.
livery.
Oh,
It's like your livery.
Back to the stable.
But that's what the BLM has on their terminology. Okay, so, I don't know if we need to watch the video.
There are 3 simple,
Don't worry about it, Matt. You see this, you guys have seen them all around town, right?
That's the traffic counter.
So it's a traffic counter and it's telling you, you know, this is your speed, slow down. You can program it to different things. So the road department has a bunch of these, apparently. They're very happy with them. And since we didn't get the raise grant, and I mean, I looked into this before that, I was thinking about getting 2 to 4 of these, putting them up on the Sand Flats Road.
Great.
And they're
Good idea.
also, sounds like from Glenn, at the road department, Glenn Arthur, because they're in the cloud, all the data's in the cloud, you can retrieve it. It's keeping track of how many people are going over the speed limit, under the speed limit, the speed limit.
Yeah.
You can move them around. They can be mounted just on a pole. They have like this bracket system. They're solar. So I was thinking like maybe 4 right off the bat, because you could have 2 on the lower stretch going both ways and 2 on the upper stretch going both ways.
The upper stretch is really needed because there's really not a reminder about the speed limit.
Yeah.
And when it gets flat and
That
out,
big open.
people are just opening it up
Yeah.
like my husband.
And they also open up after the Fins and Things parking lot,
Yeah.
like that's a little straightaway there too. They'll open up, but
That's why I put the washboards up there so you can't go over 20.
yeah. Doesn't stop some of them. I think they just go, let's go faster. Won't feel them. As they go off the road, but.
That's great. Yeah, it's
so-
just, and make sure they're just off so they can grade and not knock them over.
Yeah, and the road department will probably put them up, put the poles in for us, and because we don't have the right tool to do that. And then Moab Sun News, I wanted us to get in there because we hadn't really been in there for a while, except in connection with the raise grant, which was, you know, controversial at times. So Rachel Vixen, I thought she did a nice article on
Yeah.
things that are
Yeah.
bring people up to speed. Yeah, so anyway, and then we want to get Maddie in here, so I'll just say quickly, I went to the Mountain West Trails Conference up in Vernal, and Active Trails and Transportation went, and like Carrie from the BLM went, and other people from the BLM. I thought it was really good. It was bringing together like all the Western states for the first time and just talking about trails, motorized, non-motorized. So that was really fun to go to that, and I have a lot of notes and some new contacts, and so I think it was really worthwhile. And then this base camp is happening in the fall, and I applied to be a speaker, and I was accepted along with, you know, I don't know, dozens of other speakers, just talking about the partnership. So I'm excited to go to that as well.
That's awesome. You're attending that. But once again, I thought it was the Moab base camp, and I thought that was the site of it when I was reading the text, not that. And so now I realize they named their,
Oh, yeah,
they
they
named their
the
conference base camp. I was like, oh, they're having the Utah conference at the base camp.
Oh, I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
They just use the same term.
Yeah, well, let me get Maddie in here.
I was like, she doesn't have far to go.
Yeah,
Schedule here. Okay. Do you want a chair or do you want to stand?
I would love a chair.
Here, there's a chair. There's a chair.
It's work yesterday, it was hard.
Oh, does it look a little cooler up there though, maybe? Yeah. So everyone got the proposal sent to them. And I have copies of it here as well. I have one. And I didn't realize till I printed it out that there was a map.
Yes, there's a map.
And I don't know, did I print out in black and white?
If there's-
Oh, Matt has it. Matt, go down on this, and you should have the map. Keep going. Yeah, but you might need to turn it
Burn it.
or
That
not,
might
It's
not
okay.
be.
if you can. If you can, don't worry about it.
It's a linear idea.
So, you or Anna will have to help me with the system. I spent a half an hour with Matt in the beginning trying to, and then we were just trying to like turn it up. Oh, maybe you know how to turn it up.
She means the computer.
And we switched channels.
The TV
We switched
volume.
TV channels.
Probably know more, actually, Anna probably. knows
Anna's the
most.
ex, yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
because I'm
okay.
barely in here.
Gen Z or something.
Oh, yeah, it pushed us like to a different channel and then it came back. And so it's a little soft on that end, but, all right, well, you're up.
Okay.
If you're ready.
Great. So I'll just give a little overview, assuming you guys have read this, and then we'll mainly focus on questions if you guys have them. But the Raptor route, the original intent was to give more route options on the whole enchilada. So that route gets 24,000 rides per year. And because it was kind of a grandfathered in trail system and not designed, it ended with the hardest and most remote section at the end, which was causing problems for search and rescue. So the idea of the Raptor route, which Falcon Flow was a part of, was to create like an intermediate level ending so that if people were feeling tired or not up for it, they could have an option that was in between like Black Diamond and the road and have something a little bit more moderate to enjoy. But because we have a need in this community for intermediate level trails that are close to home, Falcon Flow has become like a really popular after work ride. I know, a lot of my friends after work go up and do a lap on it because it's just the perfect distance from town and the perfect length for people to do that. And a lot of people, because it's that kind of nice like 5 mile length and people aren't necessarily like coordinating for shuttles, a lot of people are parking at that trailhead, riding up the road and riding down Falcon Flow. So it's kind of become its own little standalone activity. And so Tyson, I'm kind of standing in for Tyson because this is his baby.
And do you know that Mark and Molly and I
Tom Dillon.
and Tom Dillon all hiked it with
Yeah,
Tyson?
You were there.
You were there. Oh, I forgot because I hiked it with Kathy and Tyson
Okay.
before. So
Yeah.
okay, I'm
Round two guys
sorry.
there.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so you guys know the overview, but basically this, I think, came out of some concern about just like the volume of people riding up the road and wanting to provide a route option that not only is like a good recreation opportunity because people, instead of riding the road, they're getting another trail, but also removes hopefully a high percentage of people from the road to make a loop out of it.
Hey Matt, did you get the map? Even if it's, oh, yeah. Okay, awesome. Thank you. So one question, oh, Matt, okay, perfect. Oh, no, go up. Okay, good. Thanks. One question I had when I saw this map, even though, I walked it twice, was there's like a few sections where you can show it better on this than they're showing up on that, where you can see the old roads that are out there. And I know, he left the roads in places and he uses some of the roads. And I just kind of wanted to go back out there with Tyson and understand, why he decided to leave the roads. I remember some of them.
Some of those are fence lines that are coming up. So-
These down here.
Yeah. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, it's not always.
On the other end where you can't see because this is here.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, here I go again. I need a class. I'm so sorry. Why did I do that?
Some of those are really sandy too.
Yes, particularly. right on
So
the fence.
I think he's leaving the road in places to preserve the flow and the erosion and the single track. If that would help, of why he leaves.
Oh, what did I do? Can't I just go to this one and make this one come back?
Because some of those roads have eroded as well.
And those are actual size lines that or wood cutting roads. So they were never purposely built. The really, really straight ones are old size lines built for, not built, but bladed for one purpose to size and then abandoned. So I get what you're saying, Andrea, that if we have a disturbed area, we should utilize it. But I think we have to look at each one of them and see, is it too sandy? Is it not? And things show up on Google Earth a lot more. If you were on the ground, you might not even see them.
Right, I know,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah,
It was
another-
more the upper part up here, but which I can't see.
Another thing to consider, like I can't speak to each section specifically, but generally speaking, like when we do the designs, we try and, like it looks like, for example, I'm gonna point the screen, sorry everyone on Zoom, but like this little straightaway here, but it turns and like hugs the rocks. That can be sometimes a better trail design, because if you put it through the big open area, you get more like people going everywhere. So trying to like think of containing people or funneling them. So I can't say that that's exactly what that's for, but that's like a typical reason why we might hug things against the rock versus keeping them more into the open.
And then Andrea, on the hike, if you're thinking more up here,
Yeah.
sometimes it was the road maybe is just that much closer to the road, and we were actually on some slick rock when we got, so the
Yeah, it
road
was-
is actually,
It was
there was actually some more rock on the edge.
It was actually this one here is what I was
Okay.
kind of wondering about,
Oh, all right.
and I can't,
Don't remember the beginning of it.
Yeah, she's speaking.
oh,
That's
maybe I
there
can
it is.
grab this.
But, there,
can't
in that,
grab it. I
in
can't
that
grab it.
area, I
I'm learning.
specifically remember
Right
the
here.
terrain's a little hilly and tilted. So I think erosion wise, you're better doing the single track up and around on a hillside.
This was, I think actually, didn't we came in next to this thing, didn't we, this road? Right here. I think
Yeah, it looks like it crossed
Yeah.
a couple times.
Yeah, when we were hiking
Yeah.
it. Well, anyway, no, I appreciate you explaining
Mm-hmm.
the funneling, because I just, I don't know, just a question I had of, trying to use as much of what is already out there.
Yeah,
And
And
sounds like
also,
you guys think about that a lot.
like, for example, where there are all those switchbacks,
Mhm,
like if that's going up some elevation, then it would be really hard to make those switchbacks
right,
crisscross the road, because
Sure.
people are gonna wanna cut them, right?
it's not gonna work.
Yeah, it's,
Madeline,
So
would it
where
be
is
for
the
one-way
public-
traffic going up, or can you go down it?
2026.
But I mean, it's design phase. Has it been sent to the BLM or anything?
no, so this is step 1. And then I think step 2 is trail mix committee. And then step 3, if it gets, kind of goes through BLM,
And in the,
their process.
and in the past, like with some of the others, you guys have pretty much like gone to maybe trail mix, then BLM, and then come to us. I don't know, but it's fine for us. I don't care about the order. If
Okay.
Others do.
Yeah, I couldn't
I mean-
honestly remember in the past with the 2 committees how but I think it makes sense to come to you guys first.
So my primary comment is I can't wait to ride this. I do have a question. Tyson actually mentioned this when we were hiking, and it's in the proposal about the ability to make it bi-directional during the slow season. And I was wondering what the driver for that would be.
Driver would be 2 reasons. One, just because it's the slow season. So if the main concern is like user conflict, with people coming up and down, since there's fewer people out there, it might not be a problem to have two-way traffic when there's just not as many people out. And then the other thing Tyson brought up is that if it is like snowy, muddy conditions, if people are riding up and then they encounter mud or snow and have to turn around, then they can like legally backtrack.
Okay, yeah,
So,
that makes sense.
and that's something we haven't done before, so we'd want to just talk to the BLM about like if that process is possible to do and then how to do it. But I think our idea is if they would allow it, we would totally change out the signage at the season. So it would say one way, no entry, and then when we switched it, we'd put up entirely new signs so there'd be no.
I wonder how that would affect like hikers. Like, you know, when you're a hiker now and you know pretty much people are coming down at you, you can like prepare for that. But if they're coming from both ways fast,
Well, if they're going uphill, they're not going to be going very fast.
right, but I mean like if you're on more of a flat thing and they could be coming at you from either direction fast, that's kind of,
I think the reality is if it's winter, there's probably not going to be like just that many people out there.
Right.
hopefully.
My first thought is it would be confusing if you're local and you're used to a pattern and you get up there and say, oh, it's changed, not knowing when it changes
Mhm.
back
Mike,
is.
the locals
Yeah.
go with friends all the time,
Okay,
so
yeah.
I don't think. I don't think the
Then ignore the
bi-directionality
signs.
needs to be
Well,
that legal initially.
I think, I mean,
Yeah.
we have gotten quite a few complaints at the booth from people, well, conflicts with e-bikes too, that aren't even supposed to be out there, obviously, but just, I think it'll be good to have it directional,
Mhm.
at least most of the time, not all the time, just because,
All the
it
time.
has caused problems.
You ride differently when you aren't concerned about somebody coming in the opposite direction.
Yeah, and on that note too, we did get a grant this past spring for new signage, and so, you know, it'll be a big project, but we also wanna like, we've gotten feedback to emphasize that there are hikers on the trails too, to address your point.
Was there any discussion about figure eighting, like around that first porcupine? Just by Juniper, like here? I know people that have tried to bail out here and then it's just like heinous.
Oh, going up the sand hill,
Yeah,
Like a connector kind of.
yeah.
I don't know if Tyson looked at a route there.
Okay,
But like first shorter loop, you mean?
yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea.
I mean, it's already there, but it's horrible. You have to,
Yeah.
get off of it.
What is it? Is it an old road?
Yeah,
It's the Porcupine 4x4.
Oh, it's Porcupine 4x4.
Yeah.
Well, people could ride
It's
that
still open.
now. People could ride that now.
But it's so sandy, it's that big sand section. Then when, once you,
It's hard to recreate.
then when you get up on top, it's rock.
You're saying like incorporating the road or like another trail that kind of like bisects?
Yeah, as long as,
Yeah,
Another trail that bisects.
like a bailout.
Like some sort of-
bailout.
connector. That'd be something we have to look at, like, cause I mean, you can see that like this is all sand in here, so it would just be a question of if there's a route that goes.
I think just like back to the point of it kind of evolving into this standalone sort of thing.
Mhm.
That if it's like, oh, we got this nice parking area there and we're putting in an up trail there, like,
I don't think the
with
5
another
miles is
half
too
mile.
hard.
That you would need a bailout.
The Porcupine 4x4 is a bailout, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I hear what you're saying though. I think there is definitely a need like for more like family friendly trails, and we've had a challenge figuring out how to put those close to town because we have talus slope, and so I do think there's like an appetite for people wanting to go do like family loops and stuff. So, it could be something considered here. It could also be something, where we just acknowledge that we have a need for that and try and figure out like how to provide that, generally speaking, as a priority.
and on a similar vein, is there, if we do a big parking at the Hawks Campground at the bottom of Kestrel, is there any talk of like a up from there?
Well,
Like just for looping sake? Or,
you mean down from there, going to Slick Rock?
No, he
or
means getting
like
back up.
if people drive and park at Falcon and climb this, and then ride Falcon,
Down the
then ride
Kestrel.
Kestrel, then that dumps them back out on the road if they're gonna ride back to the car.
Well, it was hard enough to find one route.
You have to go around and come up Kestrel. There's no other, Tyson worked really hard to find that Kestrel.
Yeah, one was hard to find. I mean, I went out on some of his scouting trips, and on the north side of the Sand Flats Road, you'd think it would work. It's impossible.
Yeah,
Yeah, you'd think it would work, but you come to this like big, like 20-foot drop.
Well, Matt, you gotta go up to the crack. That's where they're talking about.
yeah. Well, right now,
It's all right.
I don't think there's
Yeah.
too much problem with going back up Kestrel.
You'll probably be dismounting off your bike.
Yeah,
and pushing
I'm
up.
pretty much sure unless you have an e-bike, that one hill's a killer.
They're coming. I think it's a great addition, and I also think that just like we saw unexpected growth in the use of Falcon, that this will probably add to that too. And I think looking at this as its own standalone trail system rather than a point A to point B sort of thing is kind of the direction to go with it.
I motion to have the stewardship committee accept the trail proposal.
How did I write it? I think it was pretty simple.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Vote in favor of the trail proposal is what I wrote. So, okay, Molly.
I motion to vote in favor of the Falcon Climb Trail proposal from GCATT.
I will second that.
Okay, so Molly.
Do you need a letter or anything?
I don't think so. I
Okay.
think, well, I'll let you guys vote.
This is part of my discussion, so I need to add that to the
Okay.
motion.
Oh, you want to add that to the motion?
Let's see, do we need one? I think you guys jump in if this doesn't make
Having
sense.
it-
We just go to the
it's-
Tronics committee and say that it was approved by Sand Flats.
Katie, what did you say?
I think having the vote in the minutes is sufficient documentation.
Over the minutes is sufficient? Okay.
That's my personal opinion, I think.
Well, if a letter is needed later,
Yeah, when it comes to the BLM, is that part of the application process? I mean, I don't
Well,
want
we
you-
would put in that the Sand Flat has been approved by the Sand Flats committee. Yeah, but we don't, I mean, we believe you. So if anybody asks for a letter, we can get it later.
Well, for example, didn't we just do something where, the raise grant,
Well, that's a little.
it was a little different, but like you guys were all in support of it for the last few years. And then I was told, hey, why don't you guys have a letter? So that I did the letter. You guys made it, approved it after the fact, but you already approved the whole project all along.
It really does not hurt to do it.
It doesn't hurt to do it, but if Katie says we don't need it.
We could, the time we would need it would probably be next spring for the grant application. So.
Yeah.
Not urgent.
And
You
that,
want to have that in the motion, just say if a letter's needed, the committee supports.
yes.
Right, all right, Molly.
I motion that we approve the Falcon Climb Trail proposal and approve a letter stating our approval.
Needed in the future.
If needed.
My second still.
Okay. Mark seconds, okay, all in favor?
Alright,
Tom, are you still with us?
Yeah. I
Oh, did
sent a
you vote
thumbs up.
in favor?
Yeah, he's giving a
Yes.
thumbs up.
Oh, thumbs up, I see it on the side there, thank you. Okay, unanimous. All right, okay.
Great. So next steps, so I'll bring it to the Trail Mix Committee where it will presumably be supported. So we've talked about it a little bit already, and then give this to Katie, and then it'll be in their hands.
Great, thanks, Mandy.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks guys, and thanks for being flexible on the time too.
Oh, sure,
Yeah.
sure.
and was there any GCATT,
Update?
Updates?
yeah, like,
Trail mix that we used to
I
do.
was thinking about flooding in Sand Flats specifically.
Oh,
Is there any surveys that happen?
We've got some reports of like minor, not major damage like pine tree level, but a few trees are down. And so we talked with a volunteer about clearing those. So I guess it did flash in there, but it didn't
On Falcon?
damage the trail.
Where?
On Eagle Eye, I think.
No, I didn't know.
Someone showed a video.
Sweet.
Oh, well, send me the video.
I don't have it, but
Oh.
they literally just.
Oh, they showed it on their phone, oh, okay.
Um,
They were there when it happened, they were
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
okay.
So minor damage, so hopefully the volunteer will be able to go and just clear out those trees with like a handsaw. If not, unfortunately, we'll probably be a little slow on it because we're like fully up in the mountains right now.
Well, we might be able to do it.
Yeah, I can, it sounded like someone was just gonna go out and do it.
Oh, I mean, Brandon or Joe can go
Yeah.
out and do it.
Okay.
We can talk, or let me know. Well, I guess you'll find out, and if they're not able to do it, we'll do it.
Great.
And we'll do it instead of them.
Off the top of your head, do you know any trail workers that use this initial HT? No, that's a tough one.
Like in the chainsaw?
Yeah, we all do our initials in
Yeah.
the chainsaw, but it's got me hung out. It's a recent one I found up on the south one.
Oh.
I was like, who is HT?
We had some trees come down in the campground from the storm. Some old ones come down.
Yeah, I just appreciate their work. Yeah, it's got me hung up. Could be someone from LaSalle
For
or,
the Conservation Corps?
yeah, it could
Could be on the
be,
state crew.
yeah.
Is the motorized trail ambassador doing anything in Sand Flats?
Not right now. They're pretty much done for the spring season. But yes, he's at Hell's Revenge primarily. We could bring him in, he's in the other room.
Yeah, actually, I have your thing up here.
Oh, here we
Wait,
go.
where's the right page though? Oh, gosh.
Reports or
You want reports?
OHV monthly analysis?
Here we go.
that's
No? This shows where he's been, Hell's Revenge, 314.
actually, maybe you were on the correct one if you
I
go.
was on the correct one.
Hell's Revenge.
Oh, yeah. Pre-SAR, 473. Wait, no.
What does pre-SAR mean? Search and rescue?
That's preventative search and
Oh,
rescue. So
preventative.
we have a list of basically, if
Yeah, okay.
depends
Oh,
on the conditions of the day.
Yeah.
But, if someone's going out without any water, for example.
Yeah, informative interactions, encounters, contact rate. Yeah, they've got some great data here. And plagiarism is
Yeah.
complimentary. So Anna helped me make a new patrol log for us. So we're online now too with our patrol log,
Oh, good
recording
job. So
everything
you
we're
have
doing.
data. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, we had it, but it was handwritten. So now it's like,
Yeah. I very quick, the first year I entered it all in, I was like, never again will we do this by hand. So,
I know, we've done it by hand for years. So I was like, okay, when I saw Anna's, I'm like,
yeah.
let's
Way
do
to
this.
go.
Yeah, so.
Nice.
Yeah, so Kelton's up there quite a bit. Yeah,
Great.
appreciate that. So, if you want to stay for a ferry shrimp video, you're welcome to. 7 minutes.
Yeah, I'll stay for 7 minutes.
All right.
So is this a new video? Because I'm sure I
Yes,
saw a
this is
fair
new.
share video on.
Matt, I'm just gonna show it because I have it on this, oh wait, it won't end up on Zoom though, will it?
Yeah, go for it.
All right,
Okay. Tim does such a good job.
wait a minute, I can.
Explain. Tim Brown.
Is that why it's called shrimp rock? I didn't just read it.
Oh. Didn't know they were up and down.
I muted it. Now I changed channel. I got it. I'm trying to not change channel.
Let me just.
Oh, there. No, it's not me.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh. Oh, no. That was the key in there.
I have it on.
Video.
thought that was just the tardigrade.
Me too.
Hope they didn't leave them on the road.
Run back and hatch them. Run back and hatch them.
My housemate, a girl.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What's her name?
Smo. She moved, but
Oh,
it's funny.
That was much better than the last fairy shrimp video that I saw.
where did you see the other one?
I thought it was on your webpage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
this-
was another one,
That was excellent.
or maybe it was the first one.
It was like a pothole at college.
Oh, there was a short one on I have on Facebook. Then he did the ephemeral pools one,
Yeah.
which is the one, and that one he has had to date 1.2 million views.
I thought it was pretty good.
That is the most he's ever had for any video he's made.
Ever, of any.
Well,
Or
in
just
this
for us?
area anyway. I mean, I don't, it might be anywhere. Well, I know in this area, because I asked him, what's your closest? And he said it was one he made for Arches and he only had 90,000. So 1.2 million. So, okay, Matt, where are you?
Okay, goodbye, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for the movie.
Okay, all right. Yeah, if you have any comments, just let me know. All right, Matt?
Yeah, where do you want to go?
Sorry about that. You guys didn't get to see it. I emailed it to you, the link.
Yeah, it's all good though, but yeah, where do you want to be in the agenda? Are we done or?
I think we might be, oh no, we have to have BLM updates and,
So that's.
Oh, yeah, correct.
The process, that's.
oh, okay, wait, the video.
Yeah.
So this is my first time seeing it, was yesterday.
Mhm.
And so if, people have any comments, feel that there's any edits needed or anything, let me know and I'll let Mark know. But it's just waiting for us to look at. He actually finished it before I went to Germany, and I just remembered to contact him a few days ago, and he said, yeah, I done. So we paid, we'll pay $1,500 for it, which is a good price. He had a lot of the footage already. And so we can decide what we want to do with it. We'll definitely put it on our website. And we can decide if we want to put it on TV or wait till next year to put it on TV, because the ephemeral pools one's there, but we'll put it on our website. Because I don't have the ephemeral pools one on our website. It's on the Travel Council.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everyone feels pretty good about it, sounds like.
Do you think you'd throw in like a super short social media edit?
Oh, yeah, we can do that. Yeah, he can do a short one for us, like a 2-minute or something.
Yeah, or even
Yeah.
a minute.
A minute.
He's the pro. He probably knows what's
Oh, yeah, he'll do that.
clickbait, you know?
Yeah.
The 7-minute. It's nice, but
It's long.
it's more like sit down and watch it. Not scroll.
I know, that's why it's good on the website. Okay.
Actually, for anybody, you know, they wouldn't expect to see anything like that around here.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I pointed out we do beats and towers with first timers.
Yeah.
I talk about those potholes, just to beware what you're walking through, driving
Yeah.
through.
well, it's just like when we're out there after a rain, we always go around everything.
Yeah.
We don't go into it because there's life.
Wouldn't know it.
Yeah. Oh, good. I'm glad you brought that back up. I think we're good. I think we just need to do, if there's any BLM updates, Katie, and if Evan has any updates.
I can't think of anything that we haven't already discussed that affects Sand Flats. Can anyone else?
Yay.
Okay.
Questions for the BLM or anything like that?
Hey, Katie, how was business though? Were you guys up or down compared to last year?
Well, you know, we're on a different fiscal year, so we're on October to October. So
Okay.
I know Bill is working on the numbers, but I don't think he's finished them. So I don't know.
Anecdotally, are you seeing
Oh,
a
sure.
drop in visitation, or does it seem similar?
I don't think we've compiled it yet. I don't think it's up, you know, but I don't think visitation, I don't know what the exact number is for visitation.
Okay.
Because we do ours so that we figure it out for September 30th. So that's why it's still in flux.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just gave my data to Bill, because Bill will have me give him the data on the calendar that he needs, and that is always the end of June. June to June. So I just gave him our data. So Evan, do you have any
I
commission?
don't believe so. No.
All right. Well, if that's nothing else, thank you, everyone, and we will adjourn. 5 minutes to 5.
Great.
Thank you, Matt.
Anecdote.
Thank you. Welcome, Mark. Welcome, Mark.
I think we just put a
Thanks,
volume-
Katie and Tom.
Hey, I think you've got the